Start to build, and onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, so much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is putting more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production.
Yes, indeed, now more than ever before, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production. Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique need us now more than ever before to help in building this place, to help in transforming this place, to help in making this place better. We have gone through disasters before, crises before, and we were able to bounce back and build better, build back better. And I think we are capable of doing just that again with Carriacou, PT Martinique, St. Patrick, and St. Mark. They have been badly damaged by the passage of Hurricane Beryl, a Category 4 hurricane. Throughout Grenada, the agricultural sector was severely damaged. I had the opportunity to travel to the east today and almost to the north of the island, and I saw with my own eyes the devastation. So the farmers, they are hurting, and I was happy that the Honorable Lennox Andrews gave them the reassurance that aid will come, assistance will come to them, just a matter of time. I want to encourage you who are viewing me on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Share the live, because sharing is caring. And there are people who are looking for the program because they have not gotten a notification. So they're looking for the program, and when you share it, they tend to click and listen. I give you a typical example. During the couple programs I did recently, there was a moment where 101 persons or people shared the program, and almost 10,000 people viewed the program. But then you had a moment where about 40 something people, or 56, I think, shared the program, and about 4 or 5 or 6,000 people viewed the program. On Facebook, I am talking about. So it is important that you help spread the word. It is important that you help by sharing the program on your page, so your friends, your colleagues, your family members, they would get the opportunity to view and follow the program. YouTube, do the same thing. Share the link on WhatsApp. Share it to your friends and colleagues so they can click and follow me on YouTube. on their big screen TV, on whatever device they have. It is so important that you help in this process because we are not back on radio here in Grenada as yet. So as I travel throughout the country, people will come up to me and say, "Hey, Kem, I'm not hearing you. Are you still on?" So that's important. When you share, you get more and more people to view the program, to follow the program. And I've always focused on Facebook more so. The other programs, they are focusing on YouTube. I am focusing still on Facebook. YouTube, we would have on average 2,000 people viewing on YouTube. But on Facebook, on average, we would have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people viewing on Facebook. So again, it is so important that you share the program because the content of the program is rich. But if you don't share it, you would not have a great many people getting that information because here it is. The NNP and the opposition forces in the country, they have a lot of programs to spread the misinformation, to concoct stories, to criticize, to condemn, to attack, to say all manner of bad things about the government. This program that I do is really the program to debunk, dispel, to provide credible information about what government is doing and how things are progressing with Hurricane Beryl, recovery, and relief, and so on and so forth. And we have been at it for many a years. So you have to understand what is at stake. The NNP and the other opposition forces, they more or less have 6, 7 platforms and the programs pushing certain narratives. So they have Jenny Simon, for example, the opposition force. They are part of the opposition force in the country. They have Carl Keaton and Devon Romaine. They are part of the opposition force in the country with a program pushing a certain narrative. They have Francis Pear pushing a certain narrative, and they are part of the opposition force in the country. You have Prince James. He's a part of the opposition force pushing a certain narrative in the country. You have Sheldon Scott, the NNP program, pushing a certain narrative in the country, right? And then you have the WFM Plead Your Cause program, where the NNP surrogates dominate that program, pushing certain agenda. And you have other programs that they are doing likewise on. They would dominate the GBN program, right? So you have to understand what is at stake. So while it's all good, we are on social media, we are on different platforms trying to provide facts, right? But just check it out. Even on Anna Augustine platform now, those NNP surrogates and people, they are putting stuff there or they're getting stuff to be uploaded there, even on that page. Because remember, that page was more about accidents and some little controversy, some little minor thing, some man and woman thing. But now you're seeing it turn into a political flavored page, right? Where they're putting stuff up there to create certain things in the minds of people. So there are a number of platforms now that they are utilizing. So I want to urge the NDC, I want to urge the government. Well, firstly, I want to congratulate the government for appointing Jason Phillip as the acting director of GIS, and Dwight Sampson, he was also given a position within there, which is great. We need to see more of that. And the GIS content has improved significantly as a result, more focused. So I want to commend the government on that. But they need to also understand, the party and the government, they need to also understand that the reason why you have so many opposition forces having programs and so on, or so many opposition programs, so many programs opposing and attacking the government and the party and so on, is because they are pumping money, they are pumping resources into those programs. Don't believe those individuals are not getting money, getting paid, at least some of them getting paid to do what they're doing, and getting equipment, getting the required materials and so on to enhance what they do. Don't believe so, because many of them, they don't have anything. So they are given resources, they're given assistance, money is being pumped to them so that they can, improve their platform, get the required equipment, reach more people, and that kind of stuff. So we cannot be laid back to believe that, well, things going to just happen, right? Things going to just magically happen. No, things are not going to just magically happen like that. All right? So I am saying all of this so you can understand what is at stake and what is happening. At this point, the opposition machinery, they have grown significantly in terms of the amount of them doing programs, and they have modernized with the equipment and other things like that because they're being pumped, they're given resources, they're getting the money and the resources to do it. So we need to look at our end. Let us look at our end. What do we have working for us as a party and as a government? GIS could only go as far as, right, strictly government. But what's about the other platforms? What are you doing to help to expand those platforms, to help make those platforms better? That's the question, because we cannot be just sitting back thinking that by some magic one, Kim Jones will be able to get what is required and set up shop and fix everything, right? Because look, Karaku is down in terms of our equipment and other things like that. Grandetang is down in terms of our equipment and that kind of thing. And Kim Jones was able to ask his listeners and solid supporters to donate or give towards the cause. And we were able to raise $40,000 towards getting the equipment. That's not enough. It's not enough, you see? Because getting the equipment is one. But how do we enhance Vibes FM, for example, in distress? How do we build Vibes FM and make it more reachable? How do we expand it? How do we modernize it? How do we ensure that my radio station, for example, when that comes on stream, that it's expanded and that the assistance is given from different angles, not just by the listeners and the viewers? No, nope, because they give to keep it on air, and they give when there are situations like the one in Karaku and in Grandetang. But I am saying this, and it is deep, because sometimes you feel that you're alone in this battle, right? Sometimes you feel that you are alone fighting this battle. And when you sit and you analyze, you say, but wait, who are you fighting this battle for? Who are the beneficiaries, the direct beneficiaries of this battle? sometimes you have to pause and think for a moment and reflect, because it could be burdensome many a times when you alone have to carry that torch. You alone have to carry that battle morning and night. No one else out here doing it. There are some who trying, but they're not able to reach and connect. They don't have what it takes: the personality, the style, the class, the tone, the usage of language, the command of the English language. And we can go on and on. So sometimes you have to kind of assess. And that happened to NDC in 2008, 2013. There was nobody around. And even if there was a person trying to be around, there wasn't any big set of support, right? There isn't any big set of support coming to help. And I remember vividly when the NNP was in power, the NNP administration, they make sure and help those friendly radio stations. They make sure and help those friendly podcasters and people who are on their side in quite a number of ways, right? So I am saying it is so important to evaluate who are your friends from your foes, because you realize what's going down. The opposition forces, they're expanding because they are being pumped with resources and with money. And if you have money, then you're able to upgrade, you're able to modernize, you're able to do certain things that if you don't have money, you can't do. It is different. And look, I look at the numbers. There are some people who say, well, teacher Eddie Frederick, he's the boss and he's trying, but look at the numbers. Eddie Frederick, my good partner, look at the numbers. You got to compare the numbers. Don't fool yourself. He might have good content, great content, wonderful content. He's trying. But look at the numbers, the amount of people who view what he does. And then let's look at the other people. Thank God I'm still up there and still able to get the information out there and still able to reach great many people and so on, right? But you have to look at the numbers. Compare the numbers. The opposition forces, they know for a fact that they're behind, they're lagging behind in terms of market space and getting to reach people. Because consistently, I look at the numbers, Sheldon Scott on YouTube, 4,000 people, 3,000 people, 4,000 people, consistently so. Jenny used to be a little 600,000-700,000 people on YouTube because people are curious, but now she's plummeting somewhat, right? That number is not as it used to be. So you kind of see that, but still, you have to understand the consistent nature of this thing. There will be inconsistencies over time, but still. And then you look at the Prince guy on YouTube, still, 1,000 persons and 900, he's a little fish in the market still. And then you have the Francis Pay on YouTube, a little 1,000 something, but he's on radio. So you're going to reach people on radio too. So you have to balance of that. And then you have the Plead Due Cause program. Well, they're trying to get a online presence now, on average, 500-600 people online, and then radio. So I am monitoring what's going on, but I'm simply saying we need to see more support given to friendly media outfits and people who are out here fighting the battle. I am a person who look at the numbers. I look at the numbers. That's people who view, who listen. It may not be an accurate reflection of people who are solid and committed and who like those programs. Because there are people who look for curiosity's sake. There are people who want to know what they're discussing and what they're saying, right? But I am simply saying, folks, it is important that you understand what is at stake. Because if you don't help, because there are people out there who are committed and helping. I am not talking about you. I am talking about the key people. I'm talking about government, making sure that they look for the people in the media circle and engage them and make sure that they get what is required to keep them going. And I'm talking about the party NDC. Because, sometimes it feels as though you are alone carrying this burden. You are alone carrying this weight with no help, with zero help, coming from these folks. Sometimes it feels that way. Thank God we have the people who continue to support what I do. But if it's not for you, sometimes it feels like zero help. You are alone carrying this burden. And sometimes it could be very frustrating. But because I am pretty much well trained to handle these things, right? But I'm simply saying this. Sometimes it feels that way. You hear me? Sometimes it feels that way. So you have to look for your people. You have to assist your people. It's not just talk assistance. It has to be more than that. You have to help your people to expand, to build, to make sure that they're able to reach more people for you. Because I am here doing this for you, for the government, for the NDC. If I decide, well, that's it, I pack up shop, I hope somebody will emerge. And I hope, somebody out there could say, well, let me do this voluntarily or something of that sort. It's what it is. I mean, Terry, my good friend, he's on the Heartbeat program, but he's getting something because he's the ambassador for diaspora affairs. He's getting a salary and so on. And, he keep things going, which is great. I love that. But I am saying you need to support the people who fighting for you, who pushing these things out there. You have to. You can't just believe that, well, Kem go do it, and you don't need nothing. You don't want nothing, you go do it. And then you observe there are people who are getting the contracts for security companies, for construction, for this and that. These people were nowhere wrong. But they're eating the food and they're big and fat and they're getting everything. They're eating away, man. They're having a ball of a time. They're the ones going to the VIP this and the VIP that. They're getting it all where they were when the struggle was taking place and when we continue to fight the battle. Where? So I am saying it is very clear that money is being pumped into the opposition forces corner. And mind you, those in opposition, they're still enjoying the niceness in this country, They're still comfortable. They're still getting everything going their way. Everything. You hear me? That couldn't happen under the NNP. No, they would crush those opposition forces. During the NNP time, they went after me how many times? 3 times with lawsuit. I couldn't talk to certain people. I couldn't go certain places. Different ball game. Pressure. A friend told me, say, well, boy, when we party in power is when we does catch we, we royal, It's when they in power. A friend said so, And he said, but, they in power, and when it comes to benefiting, when it comes to advancing, when it comes to building, come on. I am saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. You cannot expect 2 or 3 people to carry the load without assisting them in many different ways. That damn shit has to stop. That bullshit has to stop. You hear me? Because government could do all what they doing, and as long as it can't get out there and it can't reach the people, they don't even know. The only how they get to know is by we articulating and putting stuff out there. But how do you support the people who are doing that and getting the message out there? So sometimes it feels as though you are alone carrying this damn thing. You hear me? Without any support, without any assistance from those who are supposed to support you. It is frustrating at times. You see? So the people, thank you, God bless you. I love you. You give your support in many different ways because you love me and you love what I do, and you understand politically what I do. The people who follow this program, right? Let me just, who is this person here? Just block this person here. You know how we do it. All right. Block. All right. Nice. Yes. You know, I don't really have time for that. Good. I am saying, folks, it is frustrating, right? And thank God for the people who support what I do for the last how many years. It's the people. You hear me? It's the people. And they have never given up on me. But I am still saying, folks, if we want to make an impact and keep winning and keep being relevant and keep the message out there, we need to support our own in many different ways. Because there are people who supported the NNP, right? They push the NNP agenda, and now you see them front and center. They're getting all what they want. Right now, they're still living good. They're still enjoying it. They're still enjoying it. I'm telling you, this thing has to change. That has to change. How could you expect we, the people, and the different, platforms, because there are a couple of platforms still trying to push government and promote party and so on. There are a couple of platforms doing it. But where is the support? Where is it coming from? Only the people and the people who listen, and we only have to tap into the people who listen? When you see other people and other stations, they're getting everything? They still have contracts here and contracts there. They still have this and that, and you have certain people. Let me tell you this. You see some ex-police officers. There are some that are really good, NDC and so on. But there are some who are NNP, and they're getting contracts for security here, security there, security company here, and security there. They're still enjoying the thing. You have something happening. Who gets in the bus contract to tote the people, the transportation contract? You have to clean and so on. Who gets in it? These people. To build this and build that. Come on, man. We have to start supporting our people. This damn thing needs to stop. You can't have one or two people carrying the burden for you, and then what you really doing to help them? You think this is going to remain that way? Look at the opposition forces. Look at the opposition forces. They're expanding. They're getting money. They're being paid on a monthly basis to do what they're doing. They're getting the equipment, they're getting the materials, they're getting all those different things. And they're expanding. So we gotta do better than that. We gotta do better than that. We can't continue that way. You understand me? I'll give you a typical example. Kim the King in Carriacou. Hurricane Ivan mash up the whole operation. That's the sole radio station pushing the agenda of the NDC. The sole radio station, It took me to have to ask you to give financially to keep this thing going, to get him back on track. And we are not there yet in terms of procuring the equipment and so we're going to get it. We're going to get there. But come on, man. Think about it. And when you reach out to some of these people, not even a response they would give you. Some of them, they high and mighty, thinking that the government going to get them somewhere. Well, you're doing all of this and you will win with the strength of the government. You're joking. Politics is not about government alone, You're joking. You're mad. You're joking. I went to St. Andrew today. Right? I went to St. Andrew today. And a good supporter asked me, say, Kem Jones, how you doing? Just like that. He said, Kem Jones, how you doing? And I said to him, I'm okay, man. It's not that I'm totally okay, but I say I'm okay. You hear me? How many of these people going to ask, Kem Jones, how you doing? Are you coping? How your family doing? How the radio station going? How your operation going? Sometimes it is so important to ask these very simple things. Because don't believe I'm not observant. I am very, very observant. Anyways, a word to the wise is sufficient. Folks, the government continues to do well. They continue to work for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And more young people are coming on board to volunteer with NADMA.
Charles, I'm from Paper St. David. I wasn't really called in to volunteer. It's something that's always been kind of like a part of me. Even when I was like 6 years and Ivan passed, I have memories of helping joke boxes and so on like that. So especially knowing that our sister island was very damaged, myself having family and so on over there, I don't think my conscience would have allowed me to, stay home knowing that persons need help and there's a lot of things that I could personally do. So all of that was just some of the reasons why I decided to, come down to NADMA and give any assistance possible. My appeal, my call to persons, even though you may not be personally affected, you may not even know the persons that were affected or damaged by, Hurricane Beryl in this case, it's still a good idea to come out and help, give your support, because today might be them, tomorrow might be me, tomorrow might be you. So because of that, anything possible, even if it's just donating something if you can't physically come down, but volunteering should always be part of all of us.
Yes, I think that's a very good encouragement. Volunteerism is the way to go, and particularly at this point in time, you need to volunteer. As the gentleman said, today might be them, tomorrow might be you. Because remember, the hurricane season just started. It just started June the 1st, and it will go until November the 30th. So again, it is important to help our brothers and sisters in need. Very, very important indeed. So young people are playing their part. We see them doing the cleanup, right? The cleanup campaign and so on. That's really wonderful. The Honorable Tevin Andrews, he gave an update tonight.
Guys, we have the cleanup crew in progress in the tongue of Hillsborough. And in the back there, if you look, you will see a light, street light is on. Grenlec team is there working. So kudos to the Grenlec team as well. So, work in progress. The guys are doing an excellent job cleaning up the tongue of Hillsborough. Remember, weekend, tomorrow, MIT team will be coming up and we're doing an island-wide cleanup. So the work has started. Thanks to all the volunteers. All hands on deck. We're going to rebuild, we're going to rise better, stronger, and smarter.
Yes, I believe so too. Thank you very much, the Honorable Tevin Andrews. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. All right. So again, just saying that the cleanup, is it a cleanup campaign? Let's say they're calling on the people, volunteers, inside Carriacou, inside PT Martinique, and those here in Grenada to organize. I think the boat leaves at 8 a.m., I think, Osprey, I think. So they're going up to Carriacou to clean up, to help in the cleanup of Carriacou. All right? Yeah. That's important. That's important. Yeah. So who is this person here? Who's Kendra Connor? Who's that person? All right. I'm replying to Kendra Connor. Who's that person here? Let me get that person. Who's that person here? Replying there. Yeah. Yeah. Folks, do not confuse yourself, I think some people confusing 6 a.m., right? So not 8 a.m., 6 a.m. Sorry for that, 6 a.m. Do not confuse yourself. I am volunteering my time and effort to do this program. I am not paid to do this program. Also, the people who give to this program, I know them like family. I know every one of them. And don't believe it's a huge amount of people given to this program. Don't fool yourself. There's a lot of people who are in support of what I do. But when it comes to giving to this program, I can name everybody who gives on a monthly basis to keep this program going. You hear me? And if there is a need, for example, with the transmitter and the equipment and so on that we need there, I can tell you everybody who give. And I know the majority of them, they are the ones who give to the program also. So don't believe that, somebody say about the people. So no, 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 no. Nope. We need to see more people doing that. But I am not talking about the people. In fact, I congratulated and I thank the people who give towards this program. I know the people who give towards the program and give towards what I do, they're like family. Do you know how much attack I got? And who's the NNP goons and surrogates? They do videos. Well, look at what Kem Jones doing with the money. Look at eating, he drinking. Still, the people who support what I do, they never give up on me because they believe in me. They believe in me and they trust me, and I trust myself, and I operate with transparency and honesty and so on. So they know what I give. So they would never give up on me. No, no, no. They have always kept it. Kept it to, they're always there to stand up for Kem Jones. I'm not talking about the people. I know I have the support of the people. I'm not questioning that. I am talking about those in authority from the party and government who's supposed to look for their people, and not just radio, not just podcasters, not just people who are pushing the agenda of the government and the party. No, I'm talking about the people generally. You got to look for your people, because that's the same thing NDC did in 2008, 2013, when government was performing well. They had a little infighting, a little stupidness happening then, but they were doing a lot of stuff, and they thought that would carry them to cross the line. You hear me? So, right. So, thank you. So, the boat for Karaku, they're asking people to gather and at least be there for 5 a.m. because it leaves at 6 a.m. Thank you very much. Right. So, I am saying it is important to support the people who are out here fighting this battle. You hear me? Very, very important. Remember that. Support the people who are fighting the battle. And sometimes it's just easy, simple things, How you going, Kembai? How you going, Terry? How you going, Eddie Frederick? How you going, Kim the King? You understand? How you going? There's another gentleman, I will not call his name, but he's doing an excellent job. You understand? How you going? How things going? How you coping? How you handling this? Simple things. What are some of the things you need by? How can we help? How can we assist? Because sometimes it can cause people to lose hope. I remember when I started this journey, there were 2 or 3 people who started off doing things too, and they couldn't keep up. They started off and then they just boil away like Baji. I remember vividly. They just couldn't keep up. They couldn't continue. But I was able to do that for 10 years. Now we're going on to 11 years, fighting the battle and doing what we're supposed to do. So I'm saying, I understand this. But it's important that you look for your people, even in this time of crisis. Look for your people within the community. Look for your people within the different constituency. Look for your people. Don't think that you could, make everybody happy, but you could make your people happy, because that's important, right? Very important. Very, very important. Anyways, the government continues to do well, and we applaud the government. We encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. They're doing a fantastic job. There's a Grenlec crew from St. Lucia. They're down here to assist.
Community Partnership Initiative, supporting education.
The project for our school is the expansion of
Grenlec guys know what I needed. Let me see.
the school feeding department with us in ensuring that we improve the quality of education that we provide here.
No, we ain't want that. All right? No, that we ain't want that. So let me remove this. We ain't want that. All right. So I thought I did this there. Yeah, but Grenlec has some folks from St. Lucia. St. Lucia, they're here to help with the lines, the dung power lines and so on. They're here to do that. All right? Nice. All right. Good. I think that's what. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let us. All right. Good. All right. Yeah. So the distribution continues in Karakou, but also here in Grenada, the farmers.
For Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources, Honorable Lennox Andrews, is reassuring farmers that government, with support from regional and international partners, will help them back on their feet as it pushes ahead with its food security agenda. Based on preliminary information, the agriculture sector took the hardest blow from the hurricane, with over 80% of farms and farmers affected. Minister Andrews also encourages farmers to not lose hope despite the challenges in the wake of Hurricane Beryl.
I want to stress the need for them to remain calm and to be at ease. I've been experienced in the business of farming. They are aware that from time to time, on an annual basis, we are likely to be impacted negatively by severe weather conditions. So I know it's something that our farmers are not unfamiliar with, and in fact, have developed the ability to cope with it over the years. We, from the ministry point of view, or from the ministry end, we are in fact very much on board with what our farmers have been through with the passage of the last hurricane. We are working now towards providing the necessary support to them. The support will take two different forms. There will first be the relief measures and the relief actions that we are going to take to remove some of the immediate pressures on you. And then there will be those measures that are geared towards the rebuilding of the industry itself. So the relief measures have to do with the clearing of the fallen trees so that you can have easy access to your farms, so that you can gather and collect whatever useful products that you have. That is ongoing. And so I am asking the farmers to continue to remain strong. Help is on its way. It's coming in a big way, but we want it to be organized, and we want it to be planned, and we want it to be such that it is geared towards improving on what we have been doing in the past.
Minister Andrews also appealed to farmers to adopt climate-smart resilience strategies in their agricultural engagement, as this would be the best approach in safeguarding their livelihood. The Minister of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources earlier this year partnered with a number of value chain stakeholders in conducting a series of training in climate-smart resilience practices. This, Minister Andrews reiterated, is key to the long-term sustainability of the sector.
I think right now, where technology is and where the world is, we know how to farm to protect ourselves from hurricanes. We call that climate smart agriculture. And going forward, as part of our rebuilding, we want to introduce, as far as possible, the techniques and the technology involved in climate smart agriculture, so as to protect our farmers, to protect our farms from the vagaries of the uncertainties of the weather as experienced over the last few weeks. And therefore, I'm asking all of our farmers to be alert. As I say, you have to hold on still, because we are coming, and we want to come good, and we want to come better than what we were doing before.
Yes, I want to applaud the Honorable Lennox Andrews because I have spoken to a number of farmers, and they've already received visitation from the Ministry of Agriculture. People, extension officers, field officers, they've already visited a number of the farmers, doing assessment of their farms, their garden, their plot, their land, and so on. What occurred there, the damages sustained from Hurricane Beryl, which is really good. And many farmers are commending that. They're applauding that, the swiftness in which they did that. So kudos to you, thumbs up to you, and keep doing just that. It's encouraging because it's not easy for the farmers out there. It is not easy for the farmers out there. They got a real beating from that hurricane. So I told you last night that the 10 years passport that is already out there, they have started issuing that, I think, from Monday. They've started that process.
Passport Office has confirmed that printing of passports with a 10-year lifespan has begun. The government of Grenada recently amended the passport bill, giving the Grenadian passport a validity of 10 years to individuals 18 and over. Head of the Immigration and Passport Office, Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP Elian Purcell, updated the GIS on Monday. The department, he says, began receiving applications last week. He provided details on what's currently happening at the Passport Office.
Today we have started actually printing the passport that are valid for an extended 10-year period. However, we started taking applications from last week. We have extended the waiting period for that passport by 5 days. So it's 5 business days for that particular, because of the volume of the intake. And we were not able to process due to the hurricane. And we had a delay as well because of the hurricane in actually deploying the upgraded software to be able to process the passport. So today we have worked along with the developers of the system, and we were able to successfully deploy the system or the upgrade to the system, and we have printed the first set of passports today.
ASP Purcell said they have plans going forward, which is to keep the 5-day extended period until they are able to work on the applications that were made earlier.
Going forward, we would want to keep the extended period of 5 days until we are able to resolve all of the backlog or those that have been waiting, because we have taken in a substantial amount of applications. So we want to knock them out. And then we'll come current again, where we'll be issuing in 3 business days, as we are accustomed to.
The Immigration and Passport Office, he says, will continue to provide exceptional service to the country and ensure a smooth flow during the process.
There is an additional security feature to the extended life of the passport, and also internally on the document itself, we have made some security changes too. We have not seen any foreseeable major challenges as it relates to our processes. Our internal processes remains very robust, mindful of security, and we want to assure the public that we'll continue to produce a very high quality passport for the state of Grenada, and we'll take all precautions to guarantee the safety of the Grenada passport.
So this particular police officer, he is astute, he's smart, he's bright, and the immigration department, they have always stood out. They have always topped the list for efficiency, for good customer service. They have been doing an excellent job. And if all the other departments can do likewise, the public service will be a wonderful place where productivity will be high on the graph. Folks, the government continues to work hard, and the volunteers too. They continue to work very hard to bring relief and to bring assistance to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And we want to encourage them to keep doing what they are doing. And you must also know that Nawasa, they're working hard to restore the water. So far, so good. So far, so good.
And Sewerage Authority has announced the recommissioning of all 28 water systems that were affected by the Category 4 Hurricane Beryl on July 1st. NAWASA's communication supervisor, Jamila Lewis, confirmed that the teams had to work to resolve issues caused by the hurricane's impact on water infrastructure.
On mainland Grenada, 28 water systems were affected as a result of the passage of Hurricane Beryl. As of today, Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, I am very happy to report that all 28 water systems have been recommissioned and persons are receiving a supply. The challenge that NWASA is having is that even with the recommissioning of those systems, we do have persons on high elevation that would receive water during the course of today, and for some persons as much as Wednesday.
Ms. Lewis says the company has since conducted comprehensive checks along its distribution network to identify and address any potential leakages in the distribution system that may have arisen during the hurricane.
NWASA is also checking for leaks along the distribution network, which is very crucial, especially when a network has been down for a period and considering the level of damage that we experience along that particular network. So there may be some inconveniences during the course of the day and tomorrow.
Lewis says that restoration efforts will commence in earnest for residents in Carriacou from Wednesday, July 10th.
The Carriacou plant has been recommissioned that will enable plant production and distribution at the plant site. However, that will only be achieved via truckage. Currently, we have a 2,000-gallon water truck that was loaned to NWASA by a St. Lucian contractor called Renault, and that truck is on island and will start commencement of distribution via truckage, of course, effective Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. A second water truck, which is an 1,800-gallon truck, will be loaned by the Barbados Water Authority, and it is expected to arrive in Carriacou during the coming week, and shipping arrangements are currently being made through Sedima.
The island of Petite Martinique currently has a temporary intake structure due to damage on the main. As it relates to Petite Martinique, Lewis says it wants to acquire 300-gallon water bladders to aid in water distribution efforts there, while work is ongoing in assessing the damages to the infrastructure to commence necessary repairs.
Efforts are also being made by NWASA to acquire 300-gallon water bladders that can be mounted on the back of pickup trucks, and that will be used to distribute water in Petite Martinique. Once the plant is operational, distribution will be attempted via the existing distribution network. NWASA will have a team on the ground to address leaks that may have been occurred during the hurricane, and once that is addressed, the network will be up and running by Monday, July 15th, 2024.
Right, so NWASA, you continue to do a fantastic job. Grenlec, they continue to do a fantastic job too, because a good area in Carriacou already has electricity. All right, so they're working hard. They're working hard, and we need to commend them and encourage them and applaud them. The utility companies are doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job.
In Carriacou and Petite Martinique, a contingent of soldiers from the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force under the auspices of the RSS. We also have 8 soldiers from the Defense Force of Guyana. These 8 soldiers form part of an advanced team that is there to assess the state of buildings in Carriacou and to provide support with the relief and distribution of food and other supplies. We expect additional soldiers from Guyana to come up, we hope, by the end of the week. The initial task will be to assist us with identifying large buildings, whether they be privately owned or publicly owned, that can be repaired temporarily to ensure that we have additional accommodation for relief workers and for citizens of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. We need to appreciate this is the start of the hurricane season, and therefore simple things like rainfall is going to cause considerable inconvenience to the citizens there. And we need to ensure that we have at least temporary accommodation that many of them can use should we find ourselves in a situation with prolonged rainfall, or for that matter, prolonged heat. And so the idea here is to make sure that we can identify these large centers, whether they be schools, churches, or other private residences that we can temporarily fix so that we know we have a place of shelter for citizens of Carriacou and Petit Martinique if necessary, and for persons who are coming to do relief work. We will start this process immediately. It will be a combination of private contractors in Carriacou, contractors from Grenada who have gone up to help, as well as reliance on the soldiers who are currently in Carriacou and the soldiers who are to come. The government will spare no resources in ensuring this effort takes place, because we want to ensure, as we prepare for the coming months ahead in this hurricane season, that should we face another weather system, that there is the opportunity for citizens in Carriacou and Petit Martinique to find shelter.
Right, so that's very good there, very good indeed. And I realized today you had folks from France or Martinique, I think, right? French soldiers in Carriacou delivering stuff and lending some assistance. I think they come from Martinique. I stand to be corrected, but I think that is where they came from, up the islands, and they are lending assistance in many different ways. By now, you know, Grenada got 118 million one way towards the rebuilding effort. I think another 5 million one way, another 9 million one way, and €500,000 and something else. So they continue to get resources. You're going to hear from the Caribbean Development Bank. You're going to hear from the FAO. You're going to hear from a number of the organizations, right? What they intend to do in this whole rebuilding process. So, out your head, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique will get the assistance needed to bounce back. And with the leadership of the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, I mean, he's just leading from the front, and they love him. International and regional partners love him. And as a result, you saw the solidarity shown by regional governments. They visited Carriacou with him to see the damage. And of course, help will come. Help will come. All right, I think I saw, is it St. Kitts? One of those islands up north. They're sending the architects, right, the engineers and so on, to come down to assist in any way possible in the rebuilding effort. So things are happening. Things are happening. Things are happening. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. I will be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, starting from 8 in the